I'm convinced these goalkeepers are cheating, and I'm dead ass serious. Because what are we watching at this World Cup? It doesn't make sense anymore. Every single day, it's another goalkeeper turning into prime Superman, prime Casillas, prime Buffon. Every single day, it's another striker walking off the pitch looking like he's just seen a ghost. Every single day, it's another team dominating the match and somehow leaving with nothing because one dude in gloves decided basically he's not letting anything through. He's not conceding today. And the more I watch this tournament, the more I'm convinced these goalkeepers are on crack. These goalkeepers are the main characters of the 2026 World Cup. Not the attackers, not the wonder kids, and not the superstars. These goalkeepers are going crazy because if you've been paying attention, there is a pattern developing. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. This World Cup is being hijacked from the goal line. Let's talk about it. Because before this tournament started, everyone was talking about goals, everyone was talking about golden boot predictions, best attack, most dangerous front three, who was gonna score the goal of the tournament. Same conversation every single 4 years. Meanwhile, the goalkeepers apparently got together before the tournament started and decided, yeah, none of that is happening this year. Because every time an attack starts cooking, some goalkeeper shows up and basically ruins the whole script. And nobody represents that better than Eloy Room. Because what happened against Ecuador wasn't just a great performance, it was one of those performances that completely changed how people remember a tournament. You gotta understand where Curaçao were coming from first. Smallest nation to ever qualify for the World Cup. Historic achievement. Then immediately get thrown into a match against Germany. 7-1. 7 goals to 1. Now let's keep it real. Most goalkeepers don't recover from that. Mentally, that is brutal. You spend 90 minutes picking the ball out of your net whilst the whole wide world is watching. A result like that follows players around for years. That's the type of game that breaks confidence. Instead, Rome came out against Ecuador looking like he took everything personal. 15 saves. 15. 1 all the way to 15. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? That is not a football match anymore. That is a target practice. That one man telling an entire country, yeah, that ball is not going in the net. Shoot, save, header, save, deflection, save, point blank chance, save, and again and again and again. By the end, Ecuador probably started questioning whether the goal was actually open. And here's the crazy part. Tim Howard's famous performance against Belgium gets talked about all the time. He made 16 saves, legendary stuff, but the United States still lost. Rome made 15 saves and kept a clean sheet, 0-0, meaning every single save mattered. Every single one of them. Without him, Curaçao probably would have lost by 7 again. Instead, historic first time point for the smallest country ever to qualify. That's not goalkeeping. That's a man dragging his entire nation on his back by himself. But here's the thing. Rome wasn't just the exception. He's the biggest example of what's happening all over the tournament, because a few days later, we got Orlando Gill. Turkey found out the hard way. Turkey understood how cruel elite goalkeeping can be. Everybody came into this World Cup talking about Turkey being a dark horse, a golden generation. Adagula, Kenan, Yildiz, all the talent in the world. Then they run into Paraguay and somehow managed to spend an entire match getting denied by a goalkeeper who apparently had personal beef with scoring. Turkey had 79% possession, 32 shots, a man advantage for an entire half. Everything you could basically ask for, and none of that mattered because Orlando Gill turned into a brick wall, and that's really been the theme of this tournament. The keepers don't care how much pressure you are applying. They do not care how many shots you are generating. They don't care about your expected goals. They don't care about what your FIFA ranking is. They don't care about how much hype your attack got. All they care about is keeping the ball from entering the net, and right now they are doing it better than ever. Turkey finished their first 2 matches with 62 shots, 0 goals. Read that again. Turkey basically finished their last 2 matches with 62 shots but 0 goals. That is not normal. That is not unlucky. That is goalkeeper epidemic, and it's happening everywhere. Even in games that end in blowouts, Japan beat Tunisia 4-0, completely dominating them, and somehow one of the most replayed moments from that match was still a goalkeeper save. That's how crazy this tournament has been. The goalkeepers are stealing the highlights from the winners and the losers. It don't matter. Then we've got the veterans, the old heads, the legends like Manuel Neuer still out here collecting records like Pokemon card. Being around so long, he remembers every World Cup before VAR existed, and somehow he's still producing, still German's guy, still breaking records, still proving why he's one of the greatest goalkeepers to ever do it. And honestly, that's what makes this whole thing even crazier, because it ain't just the established stars doing it. It's everybody, the elite names, the underdogs, the newcomers, the veterans, everybody with gloves on, suddenly looking unbeatable. And that's why I think we are witnessing something bigger than just a few good performances. I think we are watching a goalkeeper tournament. Every World Cup develops an identity. Some became known for goals, some became known for upsets, some became known for drama. This one might be remembered for the man between the posts, because look at the biggest stories so far. Curaçao's historic point, Turkey's shocking elimination, Paraguay staying alive, Germany reaching the knockout. Everywhere you look, there's a goalkeeper standing in the middle of the story, not on the edge of it, in the middle, controlling, changing and rewriting it. And that is why I keep saying these goalkeepers need to be nerfed, because football is supposed to reward the players creating the chances. At least that's what we tell ourselves. The tournament's been proving the opposite. You can dominate possession, you can keep the ball, you can dominate territory, you can basically do whatever you want, you can dominate shots, you can dominate everything and still lose if the man standing on the goal line decides today is not your day. And that is power, that is influence, that is tournament football. And right now the goalkeepers got more influence over this World Cup than anybody else. Not the strikers, not the midfielders, and not the managers, the goalkeepers. The glove wearing psychopath diving around for 90 minutes and ruining everybody else's plans. So shout outs to every goalkeeper still standing, because while everybody else is chasing golden boots, these goalkeepers are basically taking over the entire tournament. And if this keeps going on, the most important player this World Cup might not be the guy scoring the most goals, it might be the guy stopping them. Anyways, that'll be all for today. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, au revoir.